This week, we're at the IRONMAN Switzerland in Zurich. Meet six-time Zurich winner and local hero Ronnie Schilknecht. And introduce some of the other favorites for the IRONMAN Switzerland title. Zurich, one of the world's largest financial centers, has hosted the IRONMAN Switzerland for 17 years. With its idyllic setting around the Lake Zurich, this is one of the most popular and scenic Ironman courses in Europe. Swimming in the lake in the morning at 7 o'clock, when there are no waves and the lake is really flat, shouldn't be a problem for the athletes. Of course, it's lake water and it lacks the buoyancy that you get with salt water. But the bank's on the other side and the buoys help with the orientation. So it's a good course with the Australian exit on the island, which is really attractive for the spectators. What distinguishes the bike course here in Zurich is the first flat part along the lake and then the three climbs. First it's the Beast, which runs from Meilen across the Pannenstiel. Then there's the next climb is from Eck to Furch. And when you have to do this on the second lap, it's 5 kilometers of steady climbing. And then there's the downhill from Furch to Küsnacht, back to the lake at almost 80 k's. And finally, it's Heartbreak Hill, which is short at about 5 kilometers, but has up to 15% gradient. So these are the crown jewels of the bike course. What's special about the run course is that it goes straight through the city center and around the lake basin. There are a few hairpin turns that are specific to this course, which doesn't really allow world record times. That's just how it is. But it's got nice spots in the city, and also places with shade for those runners that are out there for a long time. The picturesque village of Samstagern, around half an hour from Zurich, is home to six-time Ironman Switzerland winner Ronnie Schilknecht, who we meet at his house the day before the race. You can see it's a bit untidy here, but that's normal before an Ironman. I'll show you some of my things, obviously my trophies as well. This year I'm again defending my title, and that's the one from last year, and I'm very proud of it, my 6th title here. So I really want the 7th title now, because that would be a world record. For me, Zurich is a home race, and of course I feel really comfortable here. I know a lot of people along the course, which is really nice. And I can sleep at home the night before the race, which is unusual for an Ironman. So here, everything is perfect. Despite his home field advantage, Schilknecht still gets the pre-race jitters. Of course, I am nervous right now. The body knows it needs to perform at its highest level in about 14, 15 hours. And I don't like this feeling, this nervousness. I tend to be a bit tense, and I'm always glad when the race begins. The solitude and quietness of his home are key factors in his preparation. And especially before a big race, the 33-year-old likes to keep to himself. I'm not the type of person that likes to stand in the limelight. I just like to be alone. It doesn't help me if I get the best press and don't win. I'm pretty serious about it, and sometimes probably a bit difficult. With his preparations finished, Schilknecht makes his way to the Landivisa to drop his bike at transition. A journey on which he gathers his thoughts and works out how to deal with the unusually hot temperatures forecast for race day.
35 Grad.
With temperatures of 35 degrees, you've got to use sun lotion, look after your pace, because the body can't perform as well, and then you have to make sure that you cool down. They have sponges, ice water, salt. You know, I'm in top shape, but I have to produce the performance on the day. Of course, it's my race and I've won it 6 times. Everything points to me, and the last few races went well, so I'm very hopeful. But you've got to do it first. Tomorrow's not about the Hawaii qualification, but about my 7th personal victory, so that's reassuring. With the focus on the race in Zurich, Kona is for now at the back of his mind, but he hopes to carry this season's good form into the World Championship. Hawaii is a different story. But if I'm going to do well in tomorrow's conditions, it will be a good omen for Hawaii. So that's why I hope that I can use some of this to push myself in Hawaii. The 7th consecutive Ironman Switzerland title is the clear goal. But for Schilknecht, Ironman is about so much more than just the victories. Ironman is not just about the race itself. It's a lifestyle, you know. I remember well when I first raced here as a kid and saw all these well-trained guys. We lived it. It's not just about the competition. It's more about what happens before the race. And the race is the icing on the cake. If you were just doing it for the success and the results, you wouldn't do it. The day before the race, and the expo village at the Landivise is abuzz with people. Whilst everyone expects Ronnie Schilknecht to win his 7th title, there is a strong pro field with some serious challenges. One of them, last year's second place Jan van Berkel, has his race plan fully worked out. I'm still very new to the Ironman circuit, so it'd be a suicide mission if I would orientate myself too much on the other athletes. That's why I'll just focus on my own race. Luckily, sport isn't maths, and there are always elements that you can't train. You know, things like passion, heart, and chance. Of course, the 6 victories speak volumes for Ronnie's side, and they'll make him strong. But I've got the passion and the heart on my side. Another podium contender, Cyril Viennot from France, has his own tactical approach. You are obliged to think about your rivals because you generally don't do the race just by yourself from A to Z. So of course I've thought about what could possibly happen during this race. My main goal is to qualify for Hawaii, so I'll listen to my body's signals and see how I feel when I'm exiting the water and ride on my bike. In the women's race, one of the top favorites is last year's winner, Erika Tsomo from Hungary.
A little bit of pressure to, you know, all eyes on you, like they accept again. But I don't really mind. I mean, I had a good season, won like Los Cabos and Klagenfurt just 4 weeks ago. So it would be awesome to win another one, a 3. That's like a big 3.
With valuable Kona points to be collected before the first cut-off point, Sophie Goose and some of the other pro ladies are also straight back in action after Frankfurt.
Yeah, I think I have to listen to my legs on Sunday because only 3 weeks against 2 Ironman, it's not a lot. So the last 3 weeks I was recovering a lot, and some days I felt really good, some days I felt really, really bad. So I don't know what's going to be on Sunday.
A cloudy sky awaits the athletes on the morning of the race at Lake Zurich, as the women's favourites Erika Tsomo and Sophie Goose prepare their bikes. All eyes on Ronnie Schilknecht and Jan van Berkel. Preparing right next to each other, they have both switched into race mode at this point. Can van Berkel step up his game and end Ronnie Schilknecht's winning series in Zurich? Or will Mr. Zurich strike again and celebrate a world record 7th victory? As age groupers and pros make their way to the swim start, the tension is tangible amongst all the athletes. With water temperatures of 25.9 degrees Celsius, this year it's a non-wetsuit swim in Zurich, and this surely plays on some of the 2,400 athletes' minds as the swim start edges closer and closer. Ironman Switzerland kicks off with a 2-loop swim in Lake Zurich. After 2 kilometers, the athletes cross a tiny island at the Australian exit before swimming another 1.8-kilometer loop in the calm, warm waters of the lake. 6:55 a.m. and the pro race is underway. It's the 17th edition of Ironman Switzerland. Shortly after, about 2,400 age groupers swarmed the waters of Lake Zurich. With an extremely hot day ahead of them, they now have 16 hours to fulfill their Ironman dreams. In the front of the race, power swimmer Marco Albert of Estonia leads a group of 4. Behind him, Swiss Jan van Berkel, Ivan Rania from Spain, and also the fastest woman, clocking the same speed as Marco Albert on the first section of the course, is Celine Scherer of Switzerland. After 2 kilometers, the lead group is approaching the Australian exit. Marco Albert is the first to get out of the water, closely followed by Jan van Berkel and Celine Shearer. It's Celine Shearer's first Ironman. The short course specialist seems very determined to leave her mark on the race. Not the strongest swimmer, Ronnie Schilknecht is 1:43 behind the lead at the Australian exit, clocking speeds well below the fastest in the water. Back to the front. The situation remains unchanged in the second loop. The leading group of 4 is pushing the pace. After 3.8 kilometers, Estonia's Marco Albert is the first to finish the non-wetsuit swim. Wasting no time in transition, he grabs his bike and is first out of T1. He is closely followed by Ivan Hranja and Celine Shearer. Jan van Berkel is the third man to grab his bike. 3 minutes 35 seconds after the leader, Ronnie Schilknecht is about to exit T1. In 2012, however, he was 6 minutes behind after the swim. On the women's side, Anja Baranek was second after the swim, while defending champion Erika Zorm was nearly 9 minutes back. Coming up, will Marco Albert be able to counter Ronnie Schilknecht's outstanding biking skills? And can Celine Shearer keep Anja Baranek at bay? Welcome back to the Ironman Switzerland, where Marco Albert is leading the men's race. It's a 2-looped and varied bike course, starting with flat and fast sections. It is also spectacularly mountainous, featuring 2 very challenging climbs, the Beast and the shorter but all the steeper Heartbreak Hill. Early on the bike, Jan van Berkel has caught up with Marco Albert. Clocking fast speeds on the flat parts, he takes the lead from the fast swimmer. Shortly after, Albert is also overtaken by Ivan Hranja. The Spaniard is now in second position. Ronnie Schilknecht is pushing the pace and has moved from 5th position out of T2 to 3rd, as he also passes Marco Albert. Up front, Jan van Berkel is going strong, maintaining high speeds. But behind him, Schilknecht is on a mission, working his way to the front, leaving Ivan Hranja behind him. Will Ironman Switzerland be the arena for the battle of the 2 Swiss giants? Very much like in 2012. Just over 1/3 into the race, Jan van Berkel's lead has shrunk by more than 1.5 minutes. Schilknecht is merely 1 minute 16 seconds behind as he reaches an aid station. 23-year-old short course specialist Celine Shearer leads the ladies' race after a breathtaking performance in the swim. But 50k into the bike, Anja Baranek is within striking distance, having mounted her bike 5 minutes 38 seconds after Shearer. Baranek is clearly on fire, and with her mad pace, she overtakes Swiss shooting star Shearer before long. Zurich regular Regula Rohrbach has moved into 3rd and is about 7 minutes behind Baranek at this stage. Back to the men's race, where Jan van Berkel is scything his way through the crowds as he tackles Heartbreak Hill for the first time. With the first lap almost completed, Ronnie Schilknecht works hard to close in on the young challenger Jan van Berkel. The moment has come after 113 kilometers. Schilknecht passes Jan van Berkel about 20 kilometers earlier than the previous year, when he had a much weaker swim than today. After her disappointing dropout in Frankfurt, Anja Baranek looks determined to win her first Ironman in Zurich as she speeds up Heartbreak Hill for the first time. Baranek has created a gap of nearly 3 minutes between her and Celine Scherer. While the young Swiss is unable to follow the German's high pace, she manages to keep Regula Rohrbach at bay. Behind them, Erika Zormer loses touch with the lead pedal by pedal. As the Mercury keeps climbing, Ronnie Schilknecht controls the race up front. But he hasn't managed to extend his lead on Van Berkel to much more than 1 minute on the second lap. And with less than 20 kilometers to go, Schilknecht suffers from cramps. Jan van Berkel is fast to react, retaking the lead from Ronnie Schilknecht en route to the last climb. Has the six-time winner pushed too hard in these merciless conditions? Van Berkel looks very much empowered by this move. With 7 Ks to go on the bike, he has created a gap of 2:15 over Schilknecht. Ivan Rania remains third, trailing by more than 12 minutes as he climbs Heartbreak Hill for the final time. Van Berkel enters Transition 2 after 5 hours, 27 minutes and 36 seconds, with a lead of 2 minutes 10 seconds over Ronnie Schilknecht. Schilknecht seems to be back on track, not losing any more time on Van Berkel on the last kilometers of the bike. Ivan Rania follows in third, already 12 minutes 38 seconds adrift. Not even 30 minutes after the men's leader, and with only 10 male pros ahead of her, Anja Baranek enters T2. Having gained almost 11 minutes on Celine Scherer on the bike, can she keep up this level in the foot race? On her Ironman debut, Celine Scherer is just a shade under 5 minutes back after the bike. Defending champion Erika Zormer struggles to follow the lead's fast pace. Her T1 deficit has nearly doubled as she reaches T2. The 4-loop run course leads along Lake Zurich and through the parks of the city. Athletes are faced with the challenge of numerous changes in direction, which can make it difficult to find and keep a rhythm. At the front of the race, Jan van Berkel has embarked on his marathon. He is a strong runner indeed. But behind him, the shadow of Ronnie Schilknecht is growing. An exceptional runner, Schilknecht is on a mission to gain his 7th title, reducing his deficit by 10 seconds every kilometer over the first 10K. And 13 kilometers into the run, Schilknecht breathes down his fellow countryman's neck before passing him with ease. Jan van Berkel cannot counter Ronnie Schilknecht's powerful strides and loses touch with him as Schilknecht powers away. Behind the leading duo, Spain's Ivan Rania maintains his third position. Accelerating on his first lap, he was 1 minute faster than Schilknecht and even 3 minutes faster than Van Berkel. Before long, disaster strikes for Jan van Berkel. With no fuel left in the tank, he collapses in the blistering heat. Last year's runner-up is forced to withdraw from the race. In the ladies' race, Anja Baranek is keeping her pace on the first 10K of the marathon. Her lead on second place Celine Scherer is decreasing only slightly. Behind the lead, Erika Zormer was gaining ground in the first quarter of the run, first passing Regula Rohrbach, fourth at this stage, before overtaking third place Emma Pooley of the UK. Once again, Zormer puts her outstanding running skills on display. On his second lap, Schilknecht has found a good rhythm up front. He is in cruise control. Ivan Rania is the new runner-up. 17 kilometers into the race, he is trailing Schilknecht by 7 minutes 52 seconds. In third position, Maxim Kriat of Russia, who has steadily climbed up the leaderboard following a fast bike split. In the second quarter of the run, Anja Baranek seems to be struggling with the extreme conditions. As temperatures have climbed over 35 degrees, her lead on Celine Shearer keeps diminishing. Approaching the half marathon mark, Shearer is only 3 minutes 8 seconds adrift. Behind her, Erika Zoma is gaining ground with even larger steps, reducing her deficit on Baranek by more than 7 minutes throughout the first half of the marathon. It has been a tough battle with Van Berkel and Ranja in the heat of Zurich, and at times Ronnie Schildknecht looked like a beaten man. But once again, the 33-year-old pulled it back, and on the last loop of the marathon, he stayed strong, so he can now cruise home in the final meters towards an historic 7th consecutive Ironman Switzerland victory. What a triumph for the king of Zurich, local hero Ronnie Schildknecht, who really had to fight for his victory. Today was one of the hardest days this year. It's never easy, but today was particularly tough, mainly because of the conditions and the weather, but Jan and Ivan also made it very hard. I had a big crisis. The last 30 kilometers on the bike, I had cramps, and I thought the race was over because I couldn't pedal anymore. I then took a lot of salt, and from kilometer to kilometer, I slowly felt better again. When I managed to overtake Jan, I still suffered a lot, but the last few kilometers were unbelievable. Winning it for the 7th time is a world record. No one has managed that before, and it's unbelievable, really. With Jan van Berkel not finishing the race, Ivan Ranja from Spain took his chance and secures 2nd place. In 3rd place with his first Ironman podium, Per Bittner from Germany. But once again, Ronnie Schildknecht is the winner of the Ironman Switzerland with a world record 7th consecutive victory in his hometown. What a memorable feat for the 33-year-old, who can now fully focus on this year's race in Kona. In the women's race, Anja Baranek stays untouchable right until the end. And the 28-year-old celebrates her first ever Ironman victory after a strong and consistent performance and an outstanding bike split. Switzerland's Celine Shearer, who dominated the race in the early stages, can hang on to 2nd place and is overjoyed with her first Ironman podium. And last year's Zurich winner Erika Zoma comes back on the run and secures 3rd place and yet another Ironman podium. What a great day for women's Ironman racing, with Anja Baranek taking her first Ironman crown. It was my biggest wish to win an Ironman, so it's really beautiful that I managed to do it today. After having such bad luck 3 weeks ago in Frankfurt, I was really devastated. And it means so much to me that my plan B has worked out. The weather in Zurich threw it all at the competitors. And after temperatures of up to 35 degrees and rain showers in the early evening, a lot of athletes did not manage to finish the race. So, for those that did, crossing that finish line and receiving that medal will be their greatest achievement ever. In each and every one of their faces, you can see the magnitude of their moment. What true heroes. In this week's Kona Pro Rankings, Ironman Switzerland winner Ronnie Schildknecht moves up into 14th place. And with the first qualification cut-off point after the Zurich race, the first 40 men have now qualified for Hawaii. In the women's Kona Pro rankings, the third placed from Zurich, Erika Zormo, is now in 12th place. And with her fourth place, Sophie Goose moves into 17th. The top 28 female pros are now qualified for the World Championship. Next week, we go to beautiful Bolton in England for the 9th edition of the Ironman UK. We'll meet up with last year's winner Daniel Hawksworth, who aims to defend his title, and introduce you to some of the other race favourites.